and welcome back to another episode of Dead Life Performance Bowl. So I'm very excited about today's episode because oh yes, we are going to finish the end of Journal 1, Book 1. But I'm sorry, I saw something so crazy earlier that I just want to show you it real quick, and then we can dive straight into this book. Check it out. Damn boy. The whole ass Jack in the Box is on fire. Suit and left to work. Once I did my 8-hour shift and parked my car in the back of the gym, I got drunk, drove all the way to California, ... Next day, I arrived at a weed shop at 7:30 and it opened at 8 a.m. So I fell asleep with my headlights on, and I remember reading through this in the last video, so we're gonna get through this and then move on to the next page. I went to the weed shop, bought $50 worth of weed, came back to my car and the battery was dead, so I walked across to an auto body shop to ask if they could help me, and they did. So I got back in my car, drove 5 hours back to Arizona. I arrived 1 hour before work started. I went to work. After work, I drove all the way to the gym and then fell asleep. Next day, I woke up at 2 p.m., ate rice, beans, peanut butter, and bread, apples, and an orange, and stayed in my car till 3:30 p.m. Then I went to the gym, worked out, used worked out log, took a shower, and went to the bank. I pulled out $5, drove to the laundromat, put my clothes in the washer, drove to a car wash, but on the way I stopped and looked at a house. It looked amazing. It was beautiful on the inside and had a workshop in the back garage. How do I know that? The garage door that led to a road behind the houses. Then I went to a car wash, washed it, and headed back to the bank. Pulled out another $5, drove back to the laundromat, put my clothes in the dryer, and sat down, journaled, went to the gym, and then fell asleep. I woke up, went to the bank, applied for a secured credit card. If I can go back in time and stop myself, I would have. Applied for a secured credit card, drove to Scottsdale, got my CPR card from my P.O. box, then drove to a mansion that was under construction. When I was sliding out from under the gate, 2 neighbors started to walk to me. They thought I owned it, and I just ran with it. Then I drove back to the gym and went in and worked out. Then I came to my car and fell asleep. Next day, I woke up and got dressed for work and arrived at 2 p.m. It turns out that I was posted for 10 p.m., so I left. I got about 8 miles away when the supervisor called me and asked if I could work both shifts. I turned around and worked from 2 p.m. till 6 a.m., 16 hours. I fell asleep for about an hour at the end of the shift, woke up, moved my car downstairs, logged from logged out and drove to the gym and fell asleep. Okay. Oh, so I fell asleep at work. I drove to the top, I guess. Yeah. Next day, I woke up at 2 p.m., drove to the apartment that I first moved into. So to be clear, I'm living in my car at this time, and I drove back to the apartment complex that I used to live at. Then I made a 3-part vlog. Then I drove back to the gym, ate 6 cheeseburgers, 2 strawberry apple pies, a large Diet Coke. I called Dad and then went into the gym, worked out, got ready for work. Once I got to work, I noticed that one of my Snapchat videos had 98 views. I changed my Snapchat name to Paul Fraser Vlogs and continued as normal. I finished work, drove to the gym, and fell asleep. Next day, I woke up, worked out, took a shower, and went to work. I had a normal shift. Towards the end, since I work at JP Morgan, there was an ATM inside. I took the golf cart. Oh yeah, there was the golf cart there. Drove to the ATM and pulled out $20 of my savings. Got off work and drove to the closest gas station, gassed up, then I drove to the gym and fell asleep. Next day, I woke up, drank some coffee, smoked some smoke, went to work and did a normal 8-hour shift. And then I parked up at the gym and fell asleep. Next day, I woke up, smoked some weed, put a foam cup, a plastic spoon, and a jar of instant coffee in my gym bag and went into the gym. I made a cup of coffee and worked out. This was the first time in a long time that I had a lot of time in the gym. I worked out for 2 hours. After I took a shower and got dressed into my slacks and a black shirt. Then I went to a gas station to buy a gallon of water and then drove across the street to buy a stick of deodorant. I thought I was going to be late for work, but I arrived 8 minutes early. I had a badass shift. I felt like I was on fire. Then I read a bit and then left to the gym. I got there and then fell asleep. Next day, I woke up, went to the gym, drank some coffee, worked out, took a shower, and went to work. I had a normal day and had a great time with the people who I was working with. Wow. After work, I drove 30 minutes away to Scottsdale to see if my credit card was in my P.O. box, but it wasn't there, so I drove back to the gym and fell asleep. Next day, I woke up, called Edward, wished him a happy birthday. Then I went to the gym, changed into my security shirt. I arrived at work. I did a normal 8-hour shift, drove back to the gym, parked in the back, and fell asleep. Next day, I woke up, had a day off, so I drove to my P.O. box in Scottsdale. I got my credit card. Then I went to Walmart and bought $117.12 worth of food. Then I drove back to the gym, smoked, and fell asleep. I woke up, went to the gym, and had a nice long workout. After I came out, looked at my trunk, and realized that my laundry bag of clothes was gone. I had to be at work by 10 p.m., so I drove 34 minutes to a Walmart that I thought I might have left it but no luck. Then I drove 20 minutes to the security office, got new shirts. Wait, what? And new slacks after I drove to a different Walmart and bought 3 black shirts, 5 boxers, 6 pairs of socks, and a towel. Then when I tried to drive back to Phoenix, my phone died. This thing would not charge, so I pulled to a random neighborhood, organized my trunk, journaled a bit, and read. As soon as I was done, my phone finally held a charge. Then I drove to the gym and fell asleep. I woke up and slept in because I slept in. I woke up and slept in because I slept in. Wow, ... I had a normal day up until at night I got a call from a random number saying that they had all my important stuff. Information, i.e. social security number, birth certificate, passport, everything. I drove to the address. I gave her $300 and left. So I remember what happened with that. Like, looking back, I think that someone stole my stuff. I forgot how I lost it. Like, I lost all my stuff, all my clothes, and then somebody found it. I don't even know how they got my number because I don't think I would have written it down in my files. But I was like so happy that they returned it. I gave her like $300. Then I looked at my bank account and I got paid $1,120.99. This was the biggest check that I got in about a year. I drove to Chase, put $400 in savings, drove to my Bank of America, paid off my credit card. Why? Because you just got it. You got like 30 more days till you got to pay it off. Then I drove to a 7-Eleven, bought water. Then I drove to the gym and fell asleep. Next day, I woke up, went to the gym. After I went and asked a guy who was going through a dumpster. He had nothing. What? He had nothing, so I gave him $20. He then told me that he was dying from cancer. He gave me a big hug, and then I left and looked for others to help. I found, see, that's the stupid thing. When I was younger, when I used to have money, when I used to get money, I would just go and basically just distribute it. And it's just like, I'm living in a fucking car. It's like so stupid. Okay, so I found a guy who needed a jump start. I tried for about 20 minutes, but it didn't work, so I had to leave. I went to Target and sat in the front for a bit, went inside. When I went inside for a water, and I got a call from the front of that I was supposed to work today. Eesh, fuck. So I grabbed a gallon of water. It cost $6 for 1 gallon of water, and then I got to work and had to work with a dude that I hated. Then I got off work, drove to the gym, and fell asleep. Next day, woke up, went to the gym, and worked out for a bit. I got a call from the office saying that my supervisor's car broke down, so I needed to come in 2 hours early. I worked a 10-hour day, but it went by quick. Then I ordered flowers for Mom. Oh. And then I fell asleep. Next day, I woke up, went to the gym, got a call from Mom saying that she got the flowers. Then I worked for a bit more, took a shower, got changed into my security stuff, got to work, then moved the cameras, so I shouldn't be journaling. And reading, but I said fuck it. About 2 hours later, I was riding around in the golf cart. The golf cart had a plexiglass windshield. I decided to try to push over a pole with the front left tire, but it didn't, obviously. So I'm just fucking around with the golf cart, trying to run stuff over, obviously, and instead of backing up and getting away from the pole, I decided to crank the wheel right and drive forward. I made contact between the pole and the windshield, and the bottom left corner snapped off. So I had to steal some clear packing tape from the maintenance's golf cart, drive to my car, get the tools, take the entire windshield off, tape it back together, and get the fuck out of there. I finished work, went to the gym for the next. So I have like this little note right here that says, for the next 3 days I have been spending money like crazy and eating like a pig. I woke up and I had a day off, so I had some gnarly looking weed that was purple weed and an indica. Indica is typically used to make you sleepy. I wanted to test to see if it would make me sleepy. Nope. I got to work. It was a work day. I went to Walmart, bought 3 gallons of water, a big ass thing of detergent, 3 new toothbrush and toothpaste, and then I went to the gym. After the gym, I went to the bank, pulled out $5 from my checkings, pulled out $5 from my checking, $40 from my savings, was left with $345 in savings. Then I drove across the street, deposited the $40 into my checkings, went to a Sports Clips, got a clean ass fade for $23, drove to the laundromat, organized all my clothes, drove to a Jack in the Box, got a $5 munchie meal, but it was $10 because it wasn't 6 p.m. Drove to the gym, smoked some weed, went inside, worked out hard AF, came back to my car and fell asleep. Next day, I woke up, smoked some weed, went to the gym. After the gym, I went to work. I had to work with a guy that I didn't like, but it was whatever. The supervisor came in and I had to do a test. Then I went upstairs in the garage and smoked some weed. After I woke up, or after I drove to the gym and fell asleep. Next day, there's a little asterisk, and then it says, I forgot what happened this day for the most part. Key things I remember. Had 3 guards on duty, a new guy named John, a military brat. He got close, showed trust, and opened up. Be careful who you converse with. All the traffic cones were put up. I walked the entire line of cones to see its modus operandi. Stupid. The configuration that they put together is stupid. The guy who is pissing me off, Patel, Oh, the Indian guy. Yeah, yeah. I got nothing against Indians. They're just so. Either you become doctor or nothing. You know, and it's just like. Whatever. Hotel was alright. And a little Mexican lady started to teach me Spanish. Te veo mañana. See you tomorrow. Then at the end of the shift, I talked to the third shift guy about a new job. Then I left and went to the gym and fell asleep. Next day, I woke up, smoked weed. I forgot that I smoked once I woke up. Went to the gym. I felt like complete shit. I was so sluggish and lethargic. I think that it was a mixture between crap food and smoking weed that made me feel like shit. Once I got to work, the military brat completely disrespected me. He took my book that I used to put how to use a credit card and how to rent a house in for an incident report. I understand the sense of urgency, but how he told me he used it was what set me off. Hey, is this your notebook? Yeah, I used it and then began to laugh. So he like made an incident report about me or something. Then after he left, Michael and Sam, both off duty, came and sat down trying to fuck with me. I told them both, from now on, I'm simply going to take care of this building and then go home. Then both left and I went on with my day. I went to a storage closet, took out a stack of extra long paper for personal use, got back to the security desk, ate these chips that a guard left behind, went into the evacuation bug out bag and saw there was fruit and grain bars expired 4 days ago. So I snatched that shit, ate all 8 of them. Then I started to make more plans for my YouTube channel. I decided to take the titles of the past 20 videos of a famous YouTuber named Logan Paul. Then I wrote down the past 20 titles of his brother's YouTube channel. Then I moved my car to the top of the garage, smoked some weed, organized all my papers, and relaxed. So I was basically trying to manipulate like metadata, but it clearly doesn't work. The only way that you can get like famous on YouTube is just like be an amazing YouTuber for a very long amount of time. After work, I went to the gym and then went to Walmart, bought $40 headphones. Then I smoked some weed, went to the gym, and then went to my car and fell asleep. Next day, I woke up, went to the gym, took a shower, put on my work clothes, and no work. I had the day off, so I went to the Public Grande Museum. I took a lot of pictures, then called Bank of America to make sure that my credit card would be okay for my first payment. I drove to Scottsdale, did my taxes, again checked my P.O. box, went to Walmart. There's actually a lot more pages than I thought. Bought a salad, burrito, pasta, 3 gallons of water, and a new filing case because someone stole the last one. Then I parked directly in front of a closed Sam's Club, completely emptied my trunk, organized my file case, packed it all up, moved the car into a parking spot, and began to eat. Then 2 cops came over, talked to me. I thought that they were going to arrest me for shoplifting in the past, but they let me go. I left, drove about 12 minutes away, and then parked in front of a church. I made a vlog, pissed in public, and smoked weed. Then I drove to a gas station, took a huge dump, drove to the gym, journaled, and then fell asleep. I woke up, and because I had work at 10 p.m., I woke up and did nothing until 11:30. I eventually got up, went to the gym, after went to work and got a call from the head guard saying that I was getting moved sites. I refused to sign in through the phone, so I got all my shit together, just left. I drove to the office, returned my security suits, then drove to the gym that I used to stay at and fell asleep. So it looks like I quit my job. I woke up and I felt so lost. I was planning to move into all apartment in 2 days, but now I had no job. I drove to Phoenix College and sat down with the graduating class for rehearsal. Ooh. I actually got on stage before they noticed. God damn it. Then I went to a huge classroom and used a dry erase board to plan my next steps. After I sat in the parking lot till nighttime, then I went to the library, tried to rent a book on HVAC, but I owed $16.99 to the library, so I left the gym. I went to the gym for about 20 minutes from where I normally stay. Worked out. I was going to stay at the gym, but then there was a security, so I drove to another gym that I normally stay at and then fell asleep. Next day, I woke up and stayed and laid in my car until about 2 p.m. Then I decided to walk 30 minutes away to a library. Since it was Friday, it was closed. I walked. Oh shit, wait. Oh no. It was closed. I walked back to my car and drove to the next closest one, but the library for it was like a library for like a courthouse or something. I drove to a Taco Bell and ate fast food. Then I went to this girl and told her that she was gorgeous. It turns out she was from England. Then I left. That's kind of crazy because my ex-girlfriend was from England. Yeah. I left, parked in a neighborhood, and journaled some more. I drove to a neighborhood and sat and watched YouTube for a minute. Then there's like a box with some key points in it. Oh. I decided to move back in with mom and dad. I went to a party with Edward and Richard and got a gun pointed at us. Wait, this was before medication? Okay. Wait, I'm very confused right now because I swear to God, I thought this was like when I was on medication. So what happened was we went to a party and this one song like triggered me. I think it's called Taste by Tyga. And like, I remember I was in the back seat of my older brother's car and my little brother was in the passenger seat and I was in the back seat, and I heard the song and I just started like tweaking out. Like I started like dancing. We got to the party and like I was like dancing like a fucking buffoon. And then I was like out in the street and like I yelled something to the neighborhood, like something like, "Nigga suck my dick," or something like that, and I yelled that out, and literally this dude came up in like a truck, and like he had like these big huge red eyes, and like this dude, he started screaming at me like, "Nigga fuck you say," or something like that. And he was saying like, come over here. So I was gonna go talk to him. And then Edward, my little brother, like was like getting involved. So I turned around and I'm talking to Edward. And then the guy who's screaming, he gets into his car. And then I'm looking at Edward. And then like apparently he like showed like he had a gun to Edward. But I'm looking at Edward and like he's behind me. And then he peels off and then leaves. And then Edward starts yelling at me, "That nigga had a gun! Like, you didn't see the fucking gun!" Like this and that. And then it's just like literally like I still today, like I feel like I didn't do nothing. Because I'm just trying to have a good time. I'm dancing by myself. And then, yeah, I started to dance a lot. I made a professional photo shoot studio in the garage. I got 8x10 photos and started sending them out to acting agencies. So, okay, then 5 days later, I woke up at 5 a.m., fell asleep. Next day, I woke up and waited till about 1 p.m. Then and then we went to Walmart. Then we went to the library. Then we went home. I sat around for a while, then I fell asleep. Next day, I started talking to this chick, so we talked all day. I went to Walmart, then me and Richard went to the gym. After I put all the actor resumes together, and then I sat around and fell asleep. Next day, I woke up about 1 p.m., didn't take a shower, didn't do much all day, but I did manage to get to the gas station, send out an acting resume to Logan Paul for a test to see if I can get a call back, Next day, I woke up, went to... Oh my god, I sent him that fucking 8x10. I took an 8x10 picture because, like, if you're becoming like an actor and to become like an actor on a professional level, you need an agent. You need an acting agent who knows all the connections. And then to get to them, you need to send them a picture of yourself, an 8x10. And this black and white photo that I sent out to so many people, it looked like I was like a crazy person. Like, I looked like a murderer in this picture. It was like the worst picture. Ugh. Oh, I woke up, went to the Chopra Center, made 3 vlogs, then went home. I organized my sleeping area in the living room, so I'm living in the living room, okay? Made a new kill list, and then fell asleep. I woke up to a phone call offering me a security job. The only downside was it was an hour away, but I got up, ate some food, took a shower, drove all the way there. I showed up about 30 minutes early, so I drove to a Starbucks coffee. After I had the interview, I thought I had the job, but I got a call saying since that I made YouTube videos with me on a golf cart saying fuck this company ... reasonable. Okay. So yeah, I went to an interview and so this was the interview that I had, that they said that they did YouTube videos too. So I opened up, I said, I made YouTube videos, and my last few videos I made was me on the golf cart and quitting my job and saying, fuck this company. That's where I learned, you know, you between your professional life and your YouTube career, you gotta separate the two. You can't be going around flaunting the company's name. But I took it to the heart. Then this girl came over with Edward's friends, and I wasn't saying anything, so she asked me if I had a job in front of 2 other people. Then she asked what I was doing. I said I wanted to go into acting. She asked if I had an agent. I said no. Then she asked, have I ever been in acting before? She said no. Then we all just sat there in silence for about 10 minutes. Later, I got a random call. I left and answered. It was a security company, but the site was too far for me to work at it. I went inside, waited for everyone to fall asleep. Then I ate a lot of macaroni, then I fell asleep. I experienced a lot of bad emotions and honestly didn't want to live anymore. Next day, I woke up and hated how much my aunt was being a complainer. I put my headphones on and didn't talk to her all day. I woke up at 7 a.m. so I went to the gym. After the gym, I went to the library and started learning HVAC stuff. So the job that I just quit, the third shift guy, the graveyard shift, he worked 2 jobs, that job and HVAC, and he was telling me that he was making like $25 an hour, so he got me interested in HVAC. Then I took Edward to the airport. Then I came home, slept And then I missed 2 days. Next day, woke up, got in my car, drove 3. God, oh no. So this is before I was on medication. And I'm still acting crazy. This is before even my car accident. And I'm still just bugging out. I drove 3 hours to Zoo Culture. And this one is written in orange and blue and black pen. And this was a very defined, it's so odd that I wrote it in orange. But this was a very defining point in my life that destroyed like a lot of my confidence. So I drove 3 hours to Zoo Culture. Zoo Culture is a gym by Bradley Martin, and Bradley Martin is a successful YouTuber. I made a vlog. Someone told me to shut up while I was doing it, and I listened. After I worked out, began to drive back home to mom and dad's house. I regret stopping. I listened to another man's command. I am disappointed, but I learned something about myself, that I need to take 100% control of myself and do me. I got back home, smoked some weed, and fell asleep. Next day, I woke up, started to trim the front yard. Then the home manager showed up, so I cleaned up, went inside, and asked mom for $20 for gas. Then I drove to a bookstore and I read about 20 pages. Then I came back home and fell asleep. Next day, I woke up, did nothing all day. Then at night I had a type of meltdown. I drove to a liquor store, got some vodka, grabbed my weed, and drove all the way 49 minutes to the beach. I drove to the beach? Okay. I took out, then I went on top of the lifeguard's perch thing, the guard's tower, and lit up a blunt. Then I drank the vodka and sat there. A couple came out. Then I got back in my car and drove home. Then I got my clothes ready for tomorrow's interview, brushed my teeth, and then fell asleep. At 2 a.m., Edward and Richard were looking for me, but I was sleeping in my car and then fell asleep. Next day, I woke up about 5:30 a.m. I felt well rested. I ate 2 slices of cake for breakfast. I took a shower, got dressed for an interview. Then I drove an hour away to the security office. I arrived at 7 a.m., then drove back in the back of a shopping center. Then I fell asleep for 1 hour and 30 minutes. Then I went to the security office, did 4 hours, and then I went home and did some landscaping in front of the house. And then I took a shower, went to the gym, and my membership was expired. So I found out that there was a 24-hour fitness 2 minutes away down the road. I went there, but I figured out that I left my wallet at home. So I went back home and then smoked with Edward and Richard. Then I read a little bit. Then I fell asleep. Didn't journal for the next 4 days. I finally have a steady job. Good for you, Paul! God! I finally have a steady job again. At 1:45, I went to an appointment at a college. I left without a schedule and, in quotes, decided not to do college. I went to my job at 8 p.m. and literally did nothing. I was amazing. Yeah, I was amazing. All I had to do was scan 4 QR codes and put in 1 report per hour. I was super happy to have this post. It was an apartment complex and no residents had my number, so I was just getting paid to read, write, watch YouTube videos. I finished work and at 4 a.m. Oh yeah, I bought wait a minute. Oh yeah, I bought a 2000 Ford Expedition 3 days ago and made it legally mine. Oh. So this 2000 Ford Expedition was the one that I drove to Logan Paul's house and made it legally mine on, okay, so I bought it for $400. So once I got off work at 4 a.m., I drove home, got into the SUV and drove to Escondido and back to Valley Center to clean, vacuum the SUV just to sell it. Okay, so I was planning on selling it. It was super risky because there was no registration, no insurance, and it was a non-op vehicle. Oh nice, so it was already on non-op. Oh no, I put it on non-op because I put it in my name, because I had the title. Because, yeah, what I said, it made it legally mine, so yeah. When you drive it, it would randomly turn off. But I followed my way and got home safely. I got home at 6 a.m. and then fell asleep. Next day, I woke up at 11:30 a.m. I called Barnes & Noble to see if they had a book that I saw on a YouTube video called YouTube Channels for Dummies. So that was like when it was KSI and Logan Paul, like they were both on stage and he took a book that was called YouTube for Dummies and he took it and he threw it at KSI. And I was like, there's a book how to do YouTube? So I was like, I gotta read that book. At first, the lady on the phone said that they didn't have it and offered to order it for me, but she said, wait, we got a shipment in today. Then she checked and she said that they had it. I had no idea why KSI and Logan Paul would show me that this is available, but it happened. Barnes & Noble and bought the book. Then, so I went to Barnes & Noble and bought it. Then we went to the 99-cent store and bought a book, bought from it. Then went home to the rest. Oh my God. After I took a shower, then went to work. I had a normal shift, went home and fell asleep. Next day, I woke up about 11:30 a.m. I told Dad, happy Father's Day. Got okay. Got in my car, drove to Barnes and Noble to buy Dad a Father's Day gift. We got there, but she didn't bring the money, so got back in the car, headed back home. Got about 3 minutes away. Oh, right. Okay. So this is when I crashed my car. Okay, so I went to fuck. So, oh, that was on Father's Day. Fuck. So I went to Barnes and Noble and headed back home. I went to Barnes and Noble and then I was headed back home. I was about 3 minutes away from home, but I was going about 40 to 45 miles per hour, and there was a car parked right in the middle of the road, so my car smashed into the said car. I got taken away in an ambulance. It was at Palomar Hospital till 7 at night and had work at 8 p.m. I called in at 7:45, told my company that I arrived. I had to borrow Dad's van, and Mom and Dad followed me to work. What car were they driving? So obviously my car was back at home, destroyed, crunched, and that night I still wanted to go to work, even though I was just in a car accident. And what car did they follow me in? So I had to borrow Dad's van, and Mom and Dad followed me to work to make sure I arrived safely. Then I did a normal shift. I had a problem reading the one that I should be really reading. And then headed home. Next day, 100 hours. I couldn't sleep due to the pain from the car crash and needed to pay my car insurance, $109 by the end of this day, so I started walking from Valley Center to Escondido to Bank of America. I got to Escondido, then I realized that I had to get to my job in San Marcos by Wednesday, June 20th. So I switched course. I called a car rental place at 4 a.m. and made an appointment to pick up the car at 4 a.m. Okay. Wow, why were they open at 4 a.m.? Oh, maybe they're 24 hours because planes, and then they come in at odd hours. I don't know, that's weird. I arrived at 7:30 a.m. and the car rental place opened at 8 a.m. So I waited till 30 minutes. Once it opened, me and the person who worked there walked out to the car. He logged in the information from the rental place into his tablet. I handed him my credit card and it declined. I walked to the bus station and took the 388 bus to Chase and completely exhausted. So what I'm not putting down is that was a 10-hour walk from Valley Center to Escondido. And then once I got there, it was super weird. because I remember I said I needed it for like 4 days or something. I needed to rent a car. So I swiped it, and like it didn't work because my credit limit was $300, and then maybe it cost like $250, but I already used 50 of it, so it declined because it was over my security card limit. So I said, all right, give it to me for 2 days. And then it declined again because it was like $100 or something. And then it declined again because security purposes. Because credit cards, you can just swipe it anywhere. You don't need a PIN. So security purposes, can't swipe it twice. So I just walked 10 hours to a car rental place and was planning to drive back home. And let's see how I get back home. It took me to the 388 bus to Chase Bank, completely exhausted. My checkings and savings account. Walked across the street to a Bank of America and put all the money I have on my credit card so I can pay my car insurance. Then I walked down the street to a bus stop. At that moment, I realized that I did not have my phone. I went into a Del Taco and asked if I could use a telephone, but the cashier just pointed across to the street to a CVS. I walked to the CVS and tried to call my phone, but no one picked up. I walked across the street to a Walgreens and got a gallon of water because it was getting hot. I walked at the bus stop for about 10 minutes and the 247 bus came and I got on. I asked, how do I get my phone back that I left on? Oh, so I left it on the bus. She said that the 388 buses changes consistently, but if I go back to the bus station, so that's where I went. Once I got to the bus station, I asked if they had any iPhone 5s that came off the 388 buses, but he said that they wouldn't have come, they won't be in till tomorrow. I laid down at the bench and fell asleep. I got woken up by a cop that told me that it's rude to take the entire bench. I remained laying down. He left. I eventually got back on the 388 bus, not the same bus or the same bus driver, but the same route. I got dropped off at the intersection of Colgrade and Valley Center Road, walked about 1 mile towards home until I saw Richard and Edward driving on the road. Oh, thank God. They pulled over and told me Chase Bank called Edward and told him that they had my phone. How? Okay. So I'd assume that I had the contacts in the phone, blah, blah, blah. Sure. That night, a few people came over and drank and smoked some weed. I shotgunned 3 beers with Richard. After everyone left, I fell asleep. Next day, I woke up and felt like shit due to the drinking. Edward asked me if I wanted to go to the beach. I was the only one. Oh, okay, so we got to the beach. I was the only one to get into the water. Then I realized that my phone was that my phone wasn't in my pocket. It was completely destroyed. Oh, you idiot. So I ran into the water with my phone in my pocket. After the beach, we all headed home. Once we got home, I put my phone in rice. I left it in the rice all day, but no luck. I went to work, had an awesome shift. Then I came back home on my bed, the couch. So obviously my car is still destroyed, but at this time I'm just using my dad's van to go to work, and it's crazy that I still had a job. I woke up and realized that I really needed a phone. No one could take me to Walmart to buy one, so I took the license plate off my Honda, put it on my SUV. So at this point, I own 2 cars. I drove to Walmart, bought a new iPhone 5 for $140, and when I got back to the SUV and started driving back home, I had to go through the worst traffic that I've ever seen, that I've ever been through. My car started to overheat, so I had to drive up on the curb and pass the entire line of traffic. I got home safely and put the old SIM card in my new phone, so I got to keep the same phone number. Nice! What a recovery! That phone number. I then got ready for work. Dad got home. I used his van. So that was pretty cool. Once my dad got off work, it was like around the same time where I needed to go to work, so we would just use the same car. Went to work. I had a normal shift, finished it out, and went back home, fell asleep. I called a law firm. They told me I needed a police report, so I called the CHP. They told me that it would be $10 for me to get the report. I asked Mom to use her vehicle and $10. She said yes. I drove all the way there. So I drove 43 minutes, but I forgot my ID. So I drove all the way back home, got my ID, drove all the way back to the CHP office, and got the police report. I drove back, and when I had to come back over to the hill, that Mr. Topeka was stopped at the bottom of Once I came back over Mr. Topeka was stopped at the bottom of, I experienced severe PTSD. At first, I did not know what was happening, but I was shaking and there was tears streaming down my face. Going over the hill, I could not go more than 25-30 miles per hour, which is incredibly dangerous. I got back home, got my ID, and got the police report. I got back, so after like having that accident, I guess like it was kind of hard for me to drive down that same road, but I did. So I went to work, had a night shift, fell asleep, woke up, had a thinking session, got off work, went home, and fell asleep. So at this time, since I just came back from the hospital, now I'm on medication. Now I'm taking medication. Because I started taking medication right after the car accident. And I don't know why. I woke up, I literally had nothing to do. I paid $3. Oh, no. There. So I made a huge 6-foot-long banner of cardboard that had Paul Fraser vlogs on it. Then I made that sharply, blah, blah, blah. I made my first merch. So I took a shirt and I just drew all over it. And then I took my boxers, my underwear, and I drew Paul Fraser vlogs on it. I did the same with the shirt. Then I took a shower. got ready for work. At the exact time that I needed to go to work, Dad got home. I drove his van and started to journal. I left my post at 11 p.m., got some Jack in the Box, went to Windsor Manor, and did a lot more chilling. Then I had a normal shift, went home, drank some water, and then fell asleep. And then there's huge letters that say fuck. Oh wow. So I missed like a month worth of journaling. Damn, so okay. I went to Logan Paul's house. I found his address. It was a SUV that I named Bruce. I arrived at about 7 p.m. at night. He called the police, and 6 police officers and a helicopter came for me. I got arrested. I had a $20,000 bail. Edward paid $500 to get me out. Then I painted my other car, the white Honda, the car that I had a car accident in. I spray painted it once I was home, once I was out of jail. So I was admitted to a crisis home for a few weeks, and the time of this logging, I have made my YouTube channels for Dummies book, and I got so what I'm missing is that I got my old YouTube channel deleted due to being reckless and just an idiot, commenting horrible things to people. So I made a new YouTube thing. Now I just have to keep my head straight and keep on keeping on. So wait, let's go back. I said, and was admitted to a crisis home for a few weeks. So yeah, I remember that one. Next day, I woke up, went to the bank, pulled out $600, all the money that I had. Me and Mom went to the DMV. I forgot my registration, so I couldn't do anything. Then I came home and had to move all the cars. Oh, why? Mom's Lincoln, Richard's blue Prius, Edward's Cadillac, so that the landlord could start moving stuff out of the garage. Then I worked on YouTube and fell asleep. Next day, I woke up and essentially did nothing all day. I got paid $20 from Edward to clean Richard's car, and I made it look new. So there's a horse up the street, and I brought him some water, showing my Honda Civic. Then I made that one video of me showing the side of my Honda Civic, sprayed Paul Fraser Vlogs on the side of it. After I did a lot of after I had a lot of negativity from Dad and Richard, after I spent a lot of time rewriting all the stuff I learned about Steven Spielberg in a notebook, then I scribbled on a piece of paper making this mark. Then I read for a few pages in the YouTube for Dummies. Next day, called the ambulance place that charged $3,000 to transport me from the car crash, and gladly it was paid by the insurance. Whew. Then I called Job Corps and scheduled for an interview. That's another thing that I missed to write down, is the job that I just basically upped and left. I didn't even give them any, I didn't call them at all, and I lost that job. So Job Corps is like a military foundation type of thing. Afterwards, I took a nap, then woke up about 9:45 p.m. Me and Edward and Richard sat on the couch talking for a long time. Then about 2:15 a.m. we slept for a bit, got ready for my court date. Next day, I did nothing at all, and then at night, me, Richard, and Edward drank at the house with a lot of people. About 4 a.m., we all passed out. So first of all, I shouldn't be taking medication at all in the first place. And secondly, I really shouldn't be mixing a whole bunch of alcohol with medication that I don't even know what it does. I woke up, went to an interview for Job Corps, came home, and Edward said that he got his $1,000 phone stolen from like the party that we had. Then later on that day, I got my YouTube. I'm sorry. So I still have my old YouTube account at this time. And then later on that day, I got my YouTube account banned. I just sat around and then fell asleep. So, sorry. Now I got my YouTube account banned. And then that's this new YouTube channel that I started. I woke up and seriously just thought about being banned from YouTube. Then I called 24 Hour Fitness, canceled my membership after I saw on Musical.ly that I had 158 views on a video. Then I got hyped as fuck and made some videos for Musical.ly. Musical.ly is like TikTok, except I don't think it's out there anymore. After we cleaned the house really nice so the landlord could send a guy tomorrow to take pictures of the house because he was selling the house. After went to the beach, in and out, an ice cream shop, then went home after I made some videos for Musical.ly. Then I did a live video on Meet Me and journaled, read, and then fell asleep. Next day, I woke up, the person to come to look at the house came, then we went to Jamba Juice and Sprouts so I could get some brain octane. Then we came back home and I fell asleep. I've been sleeping a lot lately. And when I woke up, I've been sleeping a lot lately, probably because of the medication. And I was finally able to make a new YouTube channel. This one. I woke up and we, Mom, Dad, Edward, and I sat in the living room and talked about how I owed Edward $1,600 for bailing me out. Then I focused on my YouTube channel for a bit. Next day, I woke up and all day I hated this because okay, then I cleaned up the garage, vacuumed the floor, got rid of the cobwebs in the house. After I read about 30 pages, then I put 3 videos up on Musical.ly. Then I put 3 videos up on YouTube, watched a movie, did a live video, and then fell asleep. Next day, I woke up, ate a chicken sandwich, made YouTube videos, watched a movie. I basically did the same stuff for the next few days, so I missed like 4 days. I forgot that me and Ed had a physical therapy session, but said fuck it. Then I made I made some more merch, drawing on a shirt with a Sharpie. Then I went jogging again. Next day, I woke up, made 9 eggs. Then me, mom, and dad had an argument because I wanted to move mom's desk. Then I went on a jog. Then I read using underlining through 3 different books. YouTube for Dummies, Mozart's Brain, Fast Innovation. Then I did a live video for Facebook. Then I produced, edited, used the description, the title, the tag, the upload, YouTube video. Did a live video for Scout after I went to my bed, the couch, and stayed up till 5 a.m. I fell asleep. Next day, I woke up at 11:50 a.m. I drank a huge glass of coffee, made a video, went for a jog, cleaned the house. This was my way of paying the rent because I had no job at the time and I had $5 left. That's crazy how I could go from having $5 to, well, I mean, I only have like a few $100s right now, but to like having like a truck and shit. Then I made a 30-minute long video on Facebook, and it ended with mom yelling at me because my aunt walked in the garage and I said I was making a video. Then I said I was right, and then I read a lot. Then I worked out a little, and made some sweet gains. And that is the end of book number 1. Well, what? Oh, God. Oh, this is so painful to go back and see all this fucking shit, man. So, if you are wondering what this book is right here, this is book number 2. Journal number 2. And, I'm going to start reading this tomorrow, and this one's probably going to have a lot of important stuff in it. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.
I know.